the National Development Strategy 1, NDS 1, my ministry chairs the moving up the value chain and structural transformation. Thematic area under NDS 1, which seeks to enhance the performance of the manufacturing sector by focusing on the value addition and beneficiation of the agriculture and mineral commodities. In particular, we have prioritized 10 value chain, 6 of which are agro-based: cotton, dairy, fertilizer, leather, soya and sugar. These value chains are vital to achieving structural transformation and industrialization, which are critical drivers of our economic recovery and our ambition to become an upper middle income society by 2030. Today's workshop to disseminate the Zimbabwe Industrial Reconstruction and Growth Plan to stakeholders in Harare Metropolitan Province. As you are aware, the Zimbabwe Industrial Development Policy 2019-2023 came to the end in December 23. In order to align a new of the Industrial Development Policy with the upcoming National Development Strategy 2, 2026 to 2030. The decision to formulate a transitional plan was adopted. The purpose of this transitional plan is to address the main challenges faced by the manufacturing and commercial sector and the underlying policies issue that need to be addressed. As we conclude the National Development Strategy 1 and leading to the formulation of the National Development Strategy 2 and the next Industrial Development Policy, which will run through the period of 2026 to 2030. Ladies and gentlemen, the recently announced 2025 National Budget by the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion has set the stage for the successful implementation of the Zimbabwe Industrial Reconstruction and Growth Plan. An allocation of $550.9 million has been dedicated to supporting the implementation of the ZIRGP, demonstrating the government's commitment to the industrial reconstruction and growth. Additionally, $100 million has been earmarked for industrial development, finance, enabling retooling and working capital for greenfield projects. This resource will provide critical support to key sectors, fostering innovation and capacity building in our industries. To further support local production, the government has introduced the suspension of the duty on the input used in the motor vehicles assembly, a significant step toward revitalizing the local automotive industry. Moreover, strengthening anti-smuggling measures have been put in place to protect our domestic industries from unfair competition posed by illegal importers. The development of value chains also remains a priority, as the government has put in place measures to promote the procurement of domestically produced goods and to enhance mineral beneficiation toward the reduction in the export of raw minerals. These interventions are vital for building resilient and competitive industrial value chains as we move towards the achievement of Vision 2030. Distinguished guests, we live in a world where climate change is no longer a distant threat, but a current reality. As we strive to grow the manufacturing and commercial sector, the resilience of those sectors is crucial, especially in today's unpredictable and dynamic business environment. The implementation of the circular economy practice will enhance resource efficiency and minimize the waste in the production cycle. Therefore, I encourage the manufacturing sector to embrace sustainable practice that will foster resilient, inclusive, and sustainable growth. Ladies and gentlemen, to date, the implementation of the ZIRGP has been started with the value chain formulating the implementation plan and the launch of the local content strategy chairing committee for manufacturing.
What UNDP did is providing technical assistance to the ministry. Technical assistance in terms of looking at the technical capacity that is needed to support the process, and also provided some kind of financial support to ensure that the consultation takes place, the report, the background document that leads to the policy document was prepared, and also events like this really happen. So this is what UNDP as an organization, as an international development partner, has contributed into this. And one of the other things we are trying to put in place is the ability to really connect with other stakeholders across the world. Because we are an international organization where we are present in about 190 countries. And in that regard, we try as much as possible to get experience from wherever it comes from so that we can use it to drive development.
In terms of the fundamentals that the government of Zimbabwe needs to address to ensure that this document brings transformation to industry and commerce, what are the key fundamentals given your experience in other African countries and what you've seen?
Yeah, let me tell you, one of the things that we have seen as UNDP is that there is hardly any African country that is bereft of a sound policy document. The main challenge is implementation. So what we want to encourage is that the comprehensive matrix of implementation that has been developed needs to be effectively monitored. And then we need to regularly engage the stakeholders so that if there are challenges, we address the challenges as we move on. And also, if there are some other new things that need to come on board, we raise the issue. So the issue is we need to really focus more on implementation. And in this regard, I want to emphasize three critical things. One is collaboration. We need to ensure that all the stakeholders are on board so that they can bring in their own areas of strength to accelerate implementation. The second thing is about capacity development. The industrialization of today is quite different from the industrialization of the 80s and 90s. It requires some kind of technology. It requires some kind of advancement in some of the innovation. So we need, we want to see what we can do to work with the government and the various stakeholders to capacitate the various stakeholders to be able to drive the process. And finally, communication. That's where we need you. We can't do it without you. You understand the kind of language that is needed to ensure that what the message you are passing across gets to the right audience. So communication is very important. So in conclusion, the issue of collaboration, the issue of capacity, and the issue of communication is critical to implementation.